Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign. Then this is a message for you. All right, Sagittarius. You can tell I'm sick. I'm starting to get over it, trying my best. So thank you for putting up with my voice. Thank you for visiting. I'm hoping in the new year, not even hoping, I'm knowing in the new year, my videos are going to be way more consistent. It's just been, it's been pretty wildly busy over here the last couple months. So I apologize for that. I want to get into the reading here. We have the Sun card. All right, this is a beautiful energy. We know there is illumination here. There is clarity here. Not only that, there's action. This is an energy that brings life into things. And so let's take a look. We're going to see what these tea leaves have to say, see how this energy kind of coincides, and we're going to go from there. All right, so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Okay, so my first big impression here is a feeling of, and we have a horse right here. You can see here's the body, here is the head right here. We have a person riding on the horse. Pretty, I mean, it looks like pretty excited about getting going, right? And we're going over here towards the right. So this is towards the future. And behind we have another person who looks like they are over here in it, and honestly, it feels like almost somebody who kind of sucks up all the energy of the room, right? Like this is like the person in the family, maybe a significant other, maybe an adult child, aunt, uncle, parents, whoever it is, right? If everything is going right, they're going to find something wrong. If everybody's happy, they're going to find a reason to like bring in the bad news, to have the grumpy attitude, to just like really have to be in control of the energy, right? And so, and I'm looking, there's people kind of all around. We have one here. This one looks like maybe a little dog. And there's another person over here. And I feel like, this is something that maybe you've tried to put up with for a long time. I mean, really tried to stick it out, tried to figure this dang thing out. And I feel like for you, you're just coming to this point where it's kind of like, my life is like little bits of sand, It's pouring through my fingers. No matter how much I try to hold on to it, time will be held by no man, no woman, no, anybody, right? And so when we have these like really acute moments of like reminder, we're mortal beings. As far as I know, we don't live forever. I mean, who am I? I'm just some silly lady on the internet. I don't know. Maybe some people do live forever. But I know most of us perceive our lives as being pretty finite. And so these moments can be very moving, that death drive, and that's what that is. It's the reminder. I am not going to be here always, but I'm here right now. And I have an opportunity to change my life. To live the life that it's not about deserving. It's life that I want. The life that I want. Maybe not even the life that I need, but the life that I want. I'm going to change some things around. And really, I think a big step forward with that is getting away from this energy. Because it really does affect you so deeply. I mean, you're a Sagittarius. You're a vibes person. Now, you might not be somebody who is so sensitive to energies that, like, it's totally going to destroy your day. I'm one of those people. I get a weird vibe and I'm like, ooh, you know, I can't get over it. So go take a shower. That's the only way. Help clear out that energy quick. But for you, you deal with difficult people often. And you're okay with, you know, I notice the energy, I'm just not going to internalize it. Now, when it's somebody who is our family, who we are very connected with, this is a whole different thing, right? Because you're not just like bumping up against some kind of, you know, transient energy, some person that you work with or you see once in a while or whatever. No, this is somebody who you maybe even dwell in a common place together. Maybe you even share a bed. Maybe, you know, you see each other every single day. You're over there helping mom or dad or whoever, you know. And at this point, I think it's beginning to happen that you are creating a little distance, putting in some boundaries, if they know about them or not, right? A person like this who is kind of almost like a black hole of energy, I don't know that stating boundaries is always going to work. Although I think that there is something very important and cathartic about voicing our boundaries, uttering them, making them known. But will this person abide them? I don't know. It would be surprising to me. So I feel you getting your stuff together, getting on that horse, and looking towards that bright future. Or at least one that is okay. I mean, that's my bar. I'm looking for okay. Now, if it's beyond okay, then that's a real big blessing. But you know what? Okay would be wonderful. Okay is more than enough for me, you know, and maybe that's not the case for everybody, but I think it's a good place to start. It's a good place to start. Okay, so let's take a look. We also have, it looks like it says E.T. up here. Have you ever seen that movie? I remember when I was a kid, my brother used to get so scared of that movie that's all I can think of when I see E.T. I'm like, oh, my poor brother. He really was not into that movie when it came out. But yeah, so I feel that, aren't we living just on like the cusp of just absolutely being astonished? I mean, most of us, I would say, I can't speak for you, but I think most of us are pretty open to the idea that yes, there are all kinds of consciousnesses living among us, around us. We live among them, they live among us, all of that, right? So we're living in an interesting time. Our concepts of what is real, what is not real, what is, fantasy, what is, whatever, empirical, what is not. It's all so blurred, isn't it? Everything seems a lot stranger than it did even like 10 years ago. Even heck, 5 years ago. And that, I don't know about you, but I'm okay with that. The world is supposed to be strange. It's supposed to be weird. And so I do. I look at this and I feel like this is just kind of like that cute little, like the little smile, little sneaky smile, little wink. Yes, things are only going to get a little more weird and a little more weird after that. All right, let's see. So we have a large heart. You can see it's starting to kind of come together up here. And it does almost look like people kind of meeting up. So we're in full holiday season. As well, when I think this comes out, and I'm not saying that you are or have to for this to apply to you, celebrate any kind of, Christ-related holidays or any of the Abrahamic holidays, really. But there are a lot of things going on, right? We just had the solstice, right? Yes, yes. And we have all kinds of different feasts and celebrations and, going into summer in the Southern Hemisphere, praying for good harvest this year. A friendly environment, right? No cataclysms. And we do in the north as well. I forget because it's so cold here. Everything freezes up that it just feels unmoving for a few months. But there's a lot of coming together. At least communicating, right? Hopefully with people that you love and care for. And I see your heart really like coming back to this like dense, and it's intact, and everybody is kind of on the same page and excited to see each other, and hopefully there's been no, big arguments or dramas, or that's what I pray for every year, among other things. But, just that everybody has a nice time, and gets that kind of fill of each other. And for you, I see that. I feel like, maybe there have been times this year that you've been feeling a little bit alone, maybe even forgotten by those that you love. Maybe they haven't checked in as much, or you haven't really gone out of your way to see one another as often as you'd like. And here I think that everything will kind of just go into an understanding of here we are. We are, blessed and fortunate to be in this close space together, to see one another, and and to get that feel of love, right? I mean, it really is. It even if you are somebody who is a little bit of a humbug sometimes, like myself, I think, another thing that we have to go do today, or another thing I have to put together, and it's a big ordeal, and I, I'm a Virgo, I'm a complainer. Listen, I'm sorry, Virgos, if you're listening. We like to complain. That's the thing. People say that we're controlling, we like to micromanage. All of that is true as well, but the big thing we love to do is complain, grumble. If I do something, you better believe I'm gonna mention it to you. Oh, I had just noticed that you left your plate on the kitchen table, and don't worry about it, I put it away. Classic Virgo. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to cough here. But yeah, I see just it's like I keep thinking like the cherry on top, right? There's a cherry on top. So I almost wonder if there's like good news coming. We also have the number 12 repeated. I want to mention this. 1, 2, right here. 1, 2. And then We have it over here as well. 12. Okay, so that's big. We also have KC. KC. Maybe Kansas City. I don't know. No, I mean, it could be initials. It could be part of a word. But KC seems important as well. Okay, let's see. Ooh, we have an eagle, but they're in their nest right there. And it looks like we have maybe the name Tom. T-O, and this looks like an M to me. Tom. Or maybe it's Tam or Tammy. We have a lightning bolt. So I feel like we have it feels like a patriarch of the family. But they've passed. They've passed. And this is a person that, I almost get this like drill sergeant kind of energy. Very stern. Very traditional. Whatever that tradition is tied back to. No particular way of being, right? As far as, I can't like tie it to one kind of tradition, but just in general, like this feeling of like, that's old world, old school. That is, you know, like taking you way back, you know. Even I remember when I was a kid, you would just, well, I grew up with my great grandmother, right? And she was, she grew up during the Dust Bowl and during the Depression in the United States. My family on that side is Native American, and there were a lot of hardships, right? There was a lot of hardships. And just thinking back to experiencing that generation of my family, even on the other side, my Bubba, kind of similar. There is stoicism. There's a stoicism. There's a resolve. There is a just, I don't know how to explain it. Almost kind of like just a neatly put together personality, you know? And you don't really experience people exactly like that anymore. And, you know, a lot of that was conditioning, and I think repression of emotions, and, you know, you just don't talk about certain things and whatever. But this is a similar energy. This is a similar kind of, well, it's just traditional. You know, not necessarily good or bad, but just different. Different than how we express ourselves now. You know. And I feel like this is maybe somebody that I think you felt like you had to hide yourself from them. That's the best way I can say it. Some parts of your life or your identifiers or whatever it was about you that you didn't feel like you could share. But I feel like there's a love there. Maybe a connection that was never even spoken about. But there's a tenderness, a love. This person watched out over you, and they continue to do so. And this is going to be the little kind of controversial thing to say here, but even if you felt rejected by them, or you rejected them yourself, there's still a connection there. And I say that, and as I'm saying that, it's tricky, right? Because it's like we are now in a time of, yes, those boundaries, and I get to decide who is in my life. You know, I'm a person that's estranged from where I come from a majority of my family. And that's not really, it's not about individual people. It's just the circumstances of what has happened, right? And I live a different life. I just don't go back. And when you disconnect, which, listen, we all have with somebody, if it's a friend, a family member, somebody in our community, whatever, we have the right and we have the autonomy now that hopefully you are able to say, nope, not in my life, right? So when I'm saying this, I'm thinking like, gosh, this is like boundary stomping spirit, you know? If you rejected this person, I think that partially it is because of something about the way that they lived or their beliefs or, you know, something that was just like, I don't like that, you know, that's like outmoded thinking, that's, you know, and it's hard because people are complex and they come from different times and different contexts and all of that. And I'm just trying to work this out in my head, right? Because even though we might be embarrassed, we might be mortified, we might even think, oh, I come from a line of devious people, malevolent people, or this person might be, the one person. There's still a connection. And this is very much about the shadow work, and we won't go into that, but this is when we find these sore spots in our life, we know there's something to be looked at there. Now, tread lightly and carefully, of course. But I see this spot here where it is something that immediately you're rejecting. No, that's just somebody I happen to be related to. I don't even know them. I've only heard stories. I would never, think or feel like they do. Yes, we all have these people in our families. Some of us are just chock full of them, right? I'm pointing at myself, but that's part of the work. Figuring it out. How do I accept that this is maybe partially who I am? It's not, I don't take responsibility because it's not I didn't do these things. I don't believe these things, whatever, right? But this is something that a lot of us run into. And I feel like this is where the work might have to happen a little bit. Oh, excuse me. All right, let's move on before I get into a coughing fit here. I'll tell you what, I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a few videos. I'm going to try to catch up a little bit here. I just can't. I have been sick. I feel like I'm getting pneumonia a little bit here, but that's on my own fault because I have not been able to. It's the holidays. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, so, it's just been nonstop. I'll take a nap after the new year. All right, let's see. All right, we have 22, 27, 22, 27, and 17. Beautiful. We got 2 7s and 1s. I love it. All right, we're going to finish out with our Wild Offering Oracle card. And I'm just going to flip through here. Yes, and stop where it feels right. I'll flip this thing over. Self-love. Oh, yes, this is, you know what? I'm saying it right here. 2025 is the year of self-love. This is exactly what I'm going to be focused on myself. Self-love. Tired of searching for it and from outside things, right? Like things that quantify who we are, what our worth is. Tired of it. It is an endless, tireless, unworthy pursuit. Is it nice to be loved? Of course it is. It is nicer to love and to love self. Yes, it is. Dang it, 2025, self-love. The year of self-love. All right, let's see. Show me how to love myself. Show me how to take care of the inner child. Show me how to be kind within. When you step into self-forgiveness, so much can change on the outside. You know, and listen, the thing that I have mentioned, this guy that I've been reading some of his stuff and listening to the videos on YouTube, and it's Neville Goddard. Okay, now, I'm not affiliated with anything, no group of people, no system. I like to mention some of the things I'm listening to, because we should be exploring expansively. You know, I'm not saying go look for a certain guru or somebody to follow or whatever. I mean, if that's for you, then awesome. And I hope you find your person or your entity or deity or whatever. But I think it's important for us to read widely, to listen to things. I mean, if you're somebody like me, I don't have a lot of attention to be reading for very long. That's why I'm so into poetry. But listening, one of the best things about the modern world. Podcasts, videos on YouTube, how-tos, lectures, you know, all these kinds of things. So definitely something to listen to. But one of his big things is it's about changing that interior dialogue, the interior monologue, how we feel about ourselves. And not just like, you know, repeating empty affirmations. No, believing it. Swimming in it. Living it until it's true. I like it. So check it out. All right, Sagittarius, I love you. Take care of yourself. If you want to like, subscribe, leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Happy all the holidays, whatever you're celebrating, whatever you're not celebrating. I hope that you're happy, warm, at ease, content, okay. Like me, just finding you're okay. All right, I love you. Good night.